Are you allowing me to call Ifeoma? Are you okay with that?
Yes.
All right.
Name is Ifeoma, but everyone calls me Ife, so anyone is fine.
Managing Director, Africa Global Citizen.
Exactly.
This is your first time here in Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you apply for the citizenship? Because I think you're able to do that.
I'm available, like we say, and I'm Nigerian, so we say I'm available, which interestingly, I think even the fact that coming to Rwanda is visa-free is a big leap. Nice. Is a big leap. It just makes it very easy to come, plan, process, and it's such a beautiful, easy, calm place. Nice. Lovely people, lovely people. So really exciting for me.
Apart from that, what makes you happy here in Rwanda when you are here?
The calm. Wow. The calm. And honestly, my background is like 20 years in corporate, building businesses, working with multinationals. When I come to Rwanda and I see the level of professionalism, structure, process, like that I need to do A and B and it gets done. That for me is like wonderful. Then when you're doing that in an atmosphere and in an environment where people are genuinely, friendly, hospitable, welcoming, everyone wants to make things easy for you. It can become like an experience that you don't want to, you can't keep getting enough of. Sure. Yes, so that really makes me very happy.
One more time, welcome back home.
Thank you.
I'm very glad to have you. Let me start with my picture here. Thank you so much, Director. Move Africa. What is Move Africa? And then what is Global Citizen? Amazing.
Okay, so let me explain.
All right.
Global Citizen is an international advocacy organization. It's headquartered in the US. It's the largest movement of people that want to make a change and end extreme poverty. So within Global Citizen, what we essentially do is, pressure world leaders, business leaders, multilaterals, governments, to be able to make those shifts that are needed to ensure that, poverty is reduced. Okay? And so that means we're talking about big things: health, education, climate, resilience, those big things. But we leverage the power of music to do that. Sure. So we leverage the music, and we leverage who we call our global citizens, who are all young people that take actions. When these young people take actions, we are able to continue pressuring these world leaders to make a change, because we say, beyond these conversations I'm having with you, I have like 3 million, 4 million, 5 million young people that want you to do this. And then they make that change. And then we have our Global Citizen Festival, which usually is a celebration of all the work. For all the young people that took the actions, come and let's have fun. For those that actually are making the changes, come on our platform and announce it to the world. So that's what we've always done. Mm-hmm. And we've done it in Africa. We started in 2018. We had the Mandela 100. That was a Global Citizen Festival. We had in Accra in 2022. But what we saw coming out of it was the level at which we produce our shows and our concerts. We've been doing it for 14 years now. When we wanted to do it in South Africa and even in Ghana, we had to bring in quite a bit of equipment. We bring in our production crew, and you bring them in and you take them back out. And we started asking ourselves, but we say that we want to end poverty. So why do you bring these things in and take it out? Who will develop Africa's creative circuit economy? How do we put these things in here? And it just started, when you have this things, you now start having conversations. How come Africa is rarely in global world tours? I remember there was this year, I think it was Beyonce that was coming, and we had people that were sending videos. Africa, right? Yes, and they were crying like, oh, I want to be here. And Beyonce was even at our Mandela 100. So when we think about it, when these artists are curating their world tours, how do we get Africa plugged in? Not just as it's nice to have, but because it makes sense for both the artist and the continent. We have a lot of young people. So we started saying, the question was, okay, why is Africa not included? One, we don't have a lot of venues that, at the level that these artists are used to operating at. Two, we need to have more equipment on ground, because then when you don't have to bring in equipment, then the cost is lower. It makes a lot of sense. Because at the end of the day, music is business. It's creating jobs, It needs to make sense. And that's how we started. We put together what we call Move Africa. So Move Africa is an initiative of Global Citizen. You understand? And then we started in 2023 with Kendrick Lamar. We partnered with his production company, PG Lang, so they helped in curating it and brought in Kendrick. That was year one here in Kigali.
How was the experience for the first time and the big name, Kendrick Lamar?
You know, I think it was
huge, right?
It was, yes, it was huge, not just for us as global citizens and getting this done, but also for the people. And then it was just a priceless experience, because you move from thinking about something like this needs to be done to now seeing it being done. And that was year one. We had the concert, and we also do a lot of things around the concert, because beyond just the music and plugging Africa in, how we also developing local talent. So we had local talent on stage, we had a local DJ, we have a youth program where we're actually, you know, training young people more. But beyond just the music of the music itself, remember we talked about venues, we talked about technical skill, we talked about equipment. In the first year, we had to bring in some equipment to be able to ensure that we had the right level on ground. But we now also do something differently, which, when you think about it, sometimes you're like, my global citizen, are you really serious? We have our international production company, Done and Dusted. They work with us on most of our shows. They are amazing. When we did, you know, South Africa and we did Accra, they usually would come with us and they do it. But remember, the question is, why do you take all this out? What are you leaving behind? So what we're doing differently with Move Africa is, yes, they work with us because there are standards that we need to operate at and we already operate at. However, we have a local production partner. So it's like having two production teams on ground. And
nice.
Then it's a skills building, transfer of skills, knowledge. There's some things you know, but then you're like, oh my, I didn't know this one could also be done. There's a next level. So we're investing a lot in that and building skills around that. So in your question, Global Citizen is the organization.
Right.
Move Africa is the initiative. It's focused on, you know, unlocking the creative potential of Africa, creating jobs, and plugging Africa into the global touring circuit.
All right, so before we continue, let me just show you this video.
Okay.
You just watch it, and then maybe you will let me know what is the memory you have about that day. Okay. So reka tuanze turebe iyi video ho gatoya, break ho gatoya, ubwo Global Citizen yatangiraga, ubwo twayibonaga for the first time hano mu Rwanda, ubundi Ifeoma nawe araza kumbwira icyo atekereza kuri iyi video. Reka tuanze dufate break ho gatoya, ubundi dukomeze n'ikiganiro cyacu.
Global Citizen, how are you? You are most welcome. What a good way of ending the year. With the music, with the energy, with optimism. And picking on the theme of health. Health is a precious asset. Africa can address most of its challenges. I want to dedicate this moment the community health workers who keep us healthy and safe. And Africa has organized around health. Countries dedicated 15% of their national budgets, and I'm happy to be the health financing champion for the African Union. There are many things we can address together. Working together, our continent stands strong and can address most of our challenges. We are looking forward to hosting global citizens every year here in Kigali through Move Africa. So we are looking forward to working with everyone. We hope you feel at home, all of you. And we hope to see you again in the near future. All the best, and wish you Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, and see one another very soon. All the best to you.
The best to everyone, right? How was the mood by that time?
Oh, the best. And you know, it's always electrifying. Even for me as a West African to see the energy in the room. One, for the artist, for the music, but also for leadership. Interestingly, you shared this one. It also happened again last year as well. And I'm sure, you know, when President Kagame was saying, looking forward to hosting Global Cities, Move Africa here every year, I'm sure people would have been like, okay,
let's see.
Yeah,
all right.
But we're really grateful for the support. It's been long-standing. This is 3 years. But one of the reasons why we're able to scale and show, you scale when you have results. We have results because we're in Kigali, and we continue to come to Rwanda. We continue to scale. Even if when we look at it in terms of the results, the number of jobs created. In the first year when we had that one, we had 75% of the crew was local. By last year, 90% was local. And over 95% of the audio and lighting equipment was sourced here in Kigali.
Nice.
This year is going to be, we're proud of the journey. And every year it just keeps getting better, from jobs being created, impact being made, you know, the growth that we see. It's really been heartwarming, but it really boils down to the support, and that has been priceless for us.
Fantastic. Now, how does Global Citizen work with the local creative industry?
Very interesting. Remember what you showed?
Yeah.
You saw the stage?
Yeah.
That was put together by local creative industry. Right. You know, set design was designed here locally by one of your great artists. Nice. We saw the baskets that were there as a local creative. So even in the curation of the event, putting it together, we've consistently worked with the local creative industry. In the first 2 years, so last year and the year before, we also had what we call the Move Africa Creative Fellows Program, where we worked with the Rwanda Film Board to actually see what are the challenges filmmakers are going through. How do we drive master classes around that, educate that? So that we did in the first year. In the second year, from the first year, we saw that, marketing is not just the big challenge, but, you know, how do I also get grants to be able to support my stories and drive my storytelling? And so second year, which was last year, we didn't just do the master classes. We actually had a pitch event, and we one person came out as a winner and got grants a grant money from us to be able to shoot their film. So in terms of the work we do with creative, yes, that's one of them. We also have a program that we run with Harambee. It's a Harambee Youth Accelerators. Okay. We started work with them in 2018 in South Africa. So we built a model that, beyond our concerts, right? How do we get young people infused into it? They see it, they understand it, you know. Because at the end of the day, when we think about the creative industry, especially for Africa, we always think about everyone that's going to face the camera, everyone that is going to be behind the mic. There are tons of jobs powering that. And we also need to get our people to start to own those spaces, so that when there are certain jobs that are being thought about, they'll say, oh no, Africa is the right place to get these people. So we started that Youth Accelerator program, and we're exposing them. A lot of people that join are already creatives. They either have strengths in production or interest in production or hospitality or, creating animations. So they're part of that, and then we get them into our program. We would love to scale that to make it even bigger, and have more young people, and then within the training actually even do better job placements. Last year, the young people, we worked with about 50 last year. The first year was 30. Interestingly, this year, all the young people that we worked with last year have all gotten jobs. So we're starting afresh. Nice. So it's showing that, it is exposing them. They are getting more confident, ready for new jobs. And I think for us, it's so heartwarming that we come this year and we're like, oh, we're doing the program again. And all those that we had worked with had gotten jobs. So within the creative space is the work we continue to do with our set designers. And then it will change sometimes, because depending on, as you get plugged into the global touring circuit, right? Some artists have their set design, which is something we're going to see this year, because the Doja Cat set for this year is the Doja Cat show and design that she's used everywhere in the world. She had her last show in Sydney and different places. Not her last show, one of her shows in Sydney. But that same set design is what we're bringing to Africa for the first time. And it's going to be in Africa, in Kigali. That's the first point is going to be put together. And that is also working with our production people, our local team on ground that we have grown over the years. And even when we look at it, we're already proud to see that quite a lot of what is needed to put that together is already locally on ground. So we're really excited about that.
Now, with this initiative, Move Africa, what is your vision to achieve in Africa? What do you want to achieve here in Africa?
In one sentence, we want to build a Pan-African live music touring circuit. Right. What does that mean? By 2028, we want to have built a tour that when we say Move Africa is coming, this 2026, when we say Move Africa is coming in 2028, our vision is that we're able to have 5 cities on there. And those 5 cities mean that just as we've done in Rwanda, we're getting the support, we're building technical skill, we're building equipment, we're impacting the community, because it's also more than a concert. And as we make Move Africa a Pan-African touring circuit, next step is to go back to the artists. Remember I told you that we leverage music as an organization, Global Citizen, right? We have relationships with a lot of artists. Go back to that artist community and say, you've always wanted to tour Africa. Africa is ready, like fully ready based off of what you expect. These are the venues to use. These are the production partners to work with. These are the equipment that you need is already on ground. We've worked with people. You don't even need to literally import everybody. There's people on ground. And when we do that, it now becomes a situation where there's one Move Africa, for example, let's say in February or March, but then there are like 6 and 8 other international artists that are touring the continent because Move Africa has already created that platform for them. You see what I'm saying? And remember, with every concert, it's not just the entertainment, it's the jobs that are created, it's the tourism potential that is unlocked, it's the number of people that will stay in hotels, people will eat, people would party, people would engage in businesses, there will be the jobs. We have our VIP lounges, for example. Someone takes care of the catering. There's business happening. So when we do this across these 5 countries at the minimum, at a start, right, across Africa, open it up to the world and our partner of artists, and we start seeing them coming. That for us is the vision, because it just unlocks economic potential across Africa.
All right. So according to experience, I'm going to ask you this question because I know you have that experience. You're going to answer me well. Why Kigali is becoming an important destination for international music events like Move Africa? Why?
On this one, there's something I always like to say. Yeah. What's that saying about if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail, right?
True.
The Kigali and the Rwanda you see today is because there were plans and strategy in place 20, 30 years ago.
True.
It takes proactive thinking. It takes clarity on your strategy. It takes sticking to your strategy to be able to deliver something that in years to come you will see it. And I love that you asked this question, because a lot of times, especially in these years and the time we find ourselves, people just want to do things because things are happening. Sometimes you need to sit down and say, what are my strengths? Where do I want to be? How can I get there? What are the things I need to put in place to get there?
What is my vision?
What is my vision?
Yeah.
That was what Rwanda did decades ago. And that's why Rwanda is growing rapidly as a destination, not just for events like Move Africa, BAL, Giants of Africa, but even for meetings and conventions. So first of all, it's the work that has gone in. Then once that work has gone in, people like us now see Rwanda as one that is innovative, is ambitious. There's the investment in infrastructure. There's the investment in young people. There is the political backing as well. Like, I want this to succeed because it's important to the people. When you see all those, it makes coming in quite easy. And then there's also the culture bit, which we are very rich in, across Africa. But I think just to summarize it is, the work that has happened is manifesting now. And that is positioning, and that also has everything to do with beyond just the positioning, but even the investment in infrastructure. Look at the arena. For example, when we look across Africa, we don't have so many arenas. True. So it takes a government or a people that are interested and focused on a particular direction and objective to have done that. And as that has happened, it just begins to attract the people that need those kind of infrastructure and enabling environments in place to be able to work.
Now, this year, people are excited to see Doja Cat on stage performing in Rwanda for the first time. So tell me, what are we going to experience in this concert according to your preparation, according to Doja Cat's preparations? What are we going to see? What are we going to witness that day?
Interestingly, Doja Cat is a friend of GC, Global Citizen. She's performed on our festival. And for those that also have followed any of her shows, expect high energy. Expect high energy, electric energy. Her shows are always brilliant. And, so it would not be any less this time. I was talking about the fact that we're bringing exactly this her tour. It's part of her tour now. So it's what she's done in different places, look, feel, energy. I love to say, sometimes you don't spill too much, right. But I think one big thing I would say is just expect a lot of energy from her in terms of her performance, the brilliance of it. From our side, we're putting in the best in class in terms of production for us, even as Global Citizen, and working for us as Move Africa, really working here. It's our most ambitious, right. But we're very, very excited and very proud. We know that it will be a brilliant show, and it will be a shame for anyone to miss it. People haven't missed our first two, Kendrick with John Legend, and I look forward to seeing a lot of people. So next week, Tuesday, I look forward to seeing you all at the BK Arena.
Nice. Now, how do you make it with these big names? Kendrick Lamar, John Legend, and now Doja Cat. Is it easy, or is it something you collaborate together?
There's power in partnerships.
All right.
And if there's one thing that I've learned in my role in Global Citizen, and even in the work that our leadership team, our founder Hugh Evans, our co-founder Michael Shedrick, Simon Moss, there's power in partnerships. You can achieve so much more when you go together. Is it easy talking to your artist? No. But is anything in life easy? No. It's just the easy just keeps changing, or the hard, your level of hard just starts getting different. It's different at different levels. But what we've seen is there's so much power in partnership. With Move Africa, even with Global Citizen, honestly, 99.9999% of what we do is based off partnerships. Partnerships with artists who lend their voice to our cause and our campaigns and talk about it on the social media. As artists talk about these things, it drives more attention. Partnerships with our Global Citizens. We have over 11 million young people that are global citizens. Partnerships with them, taking actions, helps us to make changes. We look at Move Africa. Partnerships with the Rwandan Development Board. We had a youth event on On Saturday, we had the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Youth and Arts, and Mbuto Foundation, HDI partnerships. We look at Move Africa. We have partnerships. Cisco is now on as our Africa tour partner. Even within Kigali, partnerships. Heineken, Bralewa Breweries is also a partner. You can't bring these things to life without partnerships. On the production side, yes, we have our international production company. A lot of what they do is driven by the spirit of partnership. We have our local production partnerships. We have the arena that we work closely with, partnerships. We have civic partners, civic society people. When we have our impact events, all that is partnership. So nothing is really easy, but I think within Global Citizen, we've honed the art of understanding that if you want to go alone, you will achieve something. But if you want to go far, then you need to go with people. And it's best to go with people who understand your vision, your values, and you can drive it to achieve what you want. You may not always agree on certain things, but as long as you agree on the vision and where you're going to, we all can do it together.
All right. Any message to the audience who is watching us right now?
I think for me, it's really around
the
future of Africa is dependent on us as young people. The decisions that we make will shape the future, our future and the future of Africa as well. And so it's important to be healthy, it's important to be educated, but it's more important to also know your dreams and pursue it and deliver on it. Another reason why we have, concepts like Move Africa, and we are so pedantic on getting it at world-class level, is because what you see shapes how you begin to think, what you take as normal. So I think for me, the big thing I want to leave behind is life is too short to be a mediocre. Life is too short to be a fake. Life is too short to also be a copy of somebody else's life. So let's live our lives fully. And I look forward to seeing everyone at BK Arena. And please, when you see me, like I said, just give me a hug. Say, I listened to you on the show, and I'll be happy to take a picture. But if there's one thing that we can do, showing up as well helps to ensure that the vision comes to life and we can continue to scale. And I'm happy to partner with everybody as much as possible in making that happen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Murakoze.
All right, Murakoze. Arakoze cyane